Yeah, we are back. We are back. It is me. It is me. It is the GUNZ, making a mockery of MCs who be mocking me or bookies who be mocking me. That's what we're going to do on this show here today. What's up, everybody? We are live here from the Maryland studios, GunzPicks studios, and this is the Breakin Ankles show, and I am the host with the most, the point guard of podcasting, the self-proclaimed CBB GOAT. It is yours truly, GunzPicks, and we are live here on a Thursday night. And we had a little bit of a setback, but not much of a setback. We took a chink in the armor. We basically just given a little tip to the table, as they say. Minus 0.6 units yesterday. However, we are still cooking with absolute napalm. We are plus 20.3 units since the inception of the GunzPicks show. So all we can do is just relax. When we have one of these days, it's okay, because we're still up massive units and we're due for one of those electric hot days. And I think it's going to be this one. So let's get to it. Let's get to the chat. Let's talk to the boys. Of course, Sox Nation joined. And as always, great pick with Pepperdine. Let's go. Hit the horn. Yes, sir. We also hit the Lafayette pick. That was absolutely electric. Of course, the Pepperdine pick is still going on right now. Do not jinx what is going on in that game, but they're playing Pacific. Feel very confident with that one. Let's cash. He's always ready to go. And, of course, my guy, Peter, in the building. Give him the horn. Guns, thanks for the early win today. You're welcome. And we see you guys joining up here on Instagram. Please join in. Get live into the chat. I am looking at everything today. I'll make sure that I talk to the Instagram people. I don't do that enough. But if you can, try to get over to YouTube as well, so I can everybody can be part of this community that is growing as we speak. We have over 150 subscribers so far, but I'm trying to grow this thing to the rafters before the end of March Madness, and we are in the middle of it. We are in the precipice of conference tournaments. We're getting to the end of the regular season, but let's get these games on the road. We got a few at the 7 o'clock hour, so I want to make sure you guys get on it now. Let's talk a little conference tournament action here. In the East Coast, Holy Cross going against Colgate. We're going to Cotterell Court here, Hamilton, New York. 7 p.m. is the tip. And I'm going to be going with the favorite in here, double-digit favorite with Colgate, minus 19, 2-unit play. Let's talk about it. Well, basically, Holy Cross is a bad team going against a pretty decent team here with Colgate. You have the Holy Cross 275th in offensive efficiency, 274th in field goal percentage, 329th in the country in offensive rebounds, and they are terrible at the free throw line, 329th in the country in free throw percentage. On the defensive side of the ball, you have Colgate, 107th in defensive efficiency, 35th in defending shots, 28th in defensive rebounding, and 16th in allowing opponents to the free throw line. So even though Holy Cross cannot make free throws, period, one of the worst in the country, they're not going to get to the line very much with this disciplined Colgate defense. On the other side of the ball, Colgate, their offense is pretty exceptional, especially shooting the rock. 65th in field goal percentage, 48th in the country in three-point percentage, 298th on the free throw line. I'm not worried about the free throws. The big key component on here is I'm worried about them shooting threes. And with this team, as good as they shoot threes, they're going against a Holy Cross team that's 358th in the country in defending three-point shots. And these two teams have already played each other twice, okay? In both situations, Colgate did cover the spread as double-digit favorites, both on the road and at home. They're playing at home here today because they don't play at neutral courts in their conference tournament. And in both situations, Colgate hit well over their three-point percentage average, hitting 42% on the road and 52% of their three-pointers at home. So the key component on this one, if they're going to cover this spread tonight, it's going to be shooting the rock behind the arc. Like I said, third meeting between these two teams. Colgate did cover as double-digit favorites. Now the line is as large as it's ever been. This is the biggest line between these two teams. I think it was 18.5 and 10.5 in the other two matchups. Now in this one, it's 19.5 in the third matchup here. Then a Colgate, 4-1 ATS is a double-digit favorite of 13 points or more this season. And then you have Colgate. I'm sorry, not Colgate. Holy Cross on this one. 6-12 ATS on the road this season. 1-4 ATS in their last 5 road games. Colgate has been doing really just enough to kind of get by. It's almost like watching a 100-meter sprinter in the quarterfinals. just doing enough and then getting across the finish line, not covering spreads. They're 1-4 ATS run right now on covering spreads. However, I think they've just been prepping for the tournament. This is game one. They're going to go in there, try to make a dash, try to punch their ticket to get to the big dance. And I think it starts today versus this Holy Cross team at home. Colgate in a landslide, in my opinion. Colgate minus 19, 2-unit banger to start the show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. 2-0 start. Damn right, baby. And that's what he says. Sox Nation. True GunzPicks, even though he doesn't agree with me all the time, but that is okay. He is part of this family. He's part of this community. He knows how to hype this channel up. This is what you do. You hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. This is what keeps us in the algorithm of all algorithms as YouTube deems fit. And you guys are in charge of that. So hit the like button if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out here for the low price of $0.00. All right. Woo. As we take a breath, and we got to take a sip of the potion before we hit the 3-wheel motion. Give me a yeah. Woo. All right. Let's get to the next play here. Let's go into some other action that is going across here on a Thursday night is Cleveland State versus Youngstown State. We have another tournament game here with these two teams at Bealey Center in Youngstown, Ohio, 7 p.m. tip. And I'm going to be going with the favorite on this one at home. Youngstown State minus 9.5, 2-unit play. Let me tell you what's going on with these two teams. Cleveland State, 158th in offensive efficiency, going up against a defense in Youngstown State, 142nd in defensive efficiency. Key component in this one, Cleveland State does not make their free throws, a 321st in free throw percentage in the country. And Youngstown State, pretty decent contesting shots. They're 83rd in defending shots, but they're also 40th in the country in blocked shots. So I think this is going to be a difficult time here for Cleveland State to get shots off and opportunities to score points. Then you have a Cleveland State defense has 280th in defensive efficiency, 257th in defending shots, 358th in defensive rebounding, and they're 305th in the country in allowing opponents to get to the free throw line. This is a problem because Youngstown State is a great free throw shooting team. They're 26th in the country in free throw percentage, and they're a good rebounding team as well. Offensive rebounding ranked 33rd in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. So mismatch on the rebounding side, second chance opportunities there for Youngstown State. And when they get to the free throw line, they make their free throw shots. That is key for this game. Also, look at the revenge factor on this one. Youngstown State lost to Cleveland State in the last game, February 17th, 81-73 on the road as 3.5-point road favorites. And in the first game that they played with one another, they were -2 home favorites. Now the line is -9.5. Huge shift in the line from game A to game B to game C at this point, because this is a conference tournament game. Huge line shift tells me that it's a Youngstown State line. Also, Youngstown State is 5-0 ATS, won a favor of between 5 and 10 points. And that's what you got it sitting at right now at -9.5. I think Youngstown State gets it done in a rebound spot against Cleveland State that kind of embarrassed them on the road when they were favored. They're supposed to win that game. And of course, they embarrassed them in the first matchup. And I think the same situation happens. Remember, if you remember the first matchup, the outcome was 94-69 in Youngstown, Ohio. I think you're going to see a similar outcome here. Maybe even worse. Give me Youngstown State -9.5, 2-unit banger, baby. As we get back into the chat, Connor joining up into the chat today. Got me 2-0 last night. Flex for the boys. Bang! Hit a bang. All respect, all respect. Listen, I love your opinions. I love it when it's okay to not agree with me. You guys can study these games too. I like to just engage in the conversation. It's all good. If you want to tell me, fine. If you love the information, great. I'm just trying to give you the plays that pay the bills. That's all I'm trying to do. If you guys go, no, and by the way, you were right about BYU, barely right about BYU. I'll say hand up, I was wrong about them, but Iowa State didn't show up in the first half. I did take them in the second half, thought about just plugging that play on X, did not. I chickened out. I did say it on a live stream that I was on with Pub Sports, so those guys got it, but I didn't share it with your people, and that hand up on me. I should have done that, but all respect, Sox Nation knew about BYU on the road versus Iowa State. Getting back, I'm fired up. I'm shot out of a cannon today. I'm getting close to the weekend. This is prime time here for Captain. I need to be on my game because next week I may not sleep. I can't sleep on you guys. I have to be doing write-ups. I have to be looking ahead. I have to see what's going to happen in these conference tournaments. Who wants it more? Is it going to be the teams that are going to be the top seeds in the national tournament? Are they even going to care about the conference tournament? Or is it going to be those ones on the bubble that are going to try to make a push to get to the finals? That's what I need to know, and I need to study that up before the start of the real main conference tournaments on Monday. But anyways, I digress. Let's get to the next play. All right. Niagara versus Siena. I know I'm hitting some really big conference games here, but I'm going to get to them. A lot of late night bangers coming. Niagara going on the road here, MVP Arena, Albany, New York is the spot, 7 p.m. tip. And I'm going with Niagara, my tried and true. -7.5, 2-unit special. Listen, line correlation is very important when I'm doing a lot of capping. And this one does something crazy that we have to talk about here. All right. Niagara's offense, 121st in field goal percentage, 53rd in three-point percentage, 68th in free throw percentage, 319th in offensive rebounding. That's okay. Good shooting teams normally aren't good rebounding teams because they don't get a lot of second chance opportunities. All right. Siena defensively, terrible. 328th in defensive efficiency, 246 in defending shots, 297th in the country in defensive rebounds, and they're 313th in the country in defending the three. That's a key component there because guess who likes to shoot threes and make them? Niagara. On the defensive side, 276 in defensive efficiency. Niagara is 280th in defending shots, 92nd defensive rebounding. You're like, those are terrible stats, Guns. What are you doing? You're going against an offense with Siena that's 358th in offensive efficiency in the country. They're sloppy with the ball, with a 361st in the country in turnover percentage. And they're bad on the free throw line, 345th in free throw percentage. So I'm not worried about the Siena team at all. They're absolutely disgusting and terrible. Niagara's offensive numbers are virtually identical home and road. So I think this is important when you're looking at the line correlation from game A to game B. Niagara lost at home versus Siena earlier in the year. They lost 93-88 as 5.5-point home favorites. Now the line on the road is 7.5 points. I was like, well, you shouldn't be getting more points on the road than you are at home. But when you look at the numbers, you look at the statistics, Niagara's defense actually plays better on the road. They only give up 70.4 points per game on the road versus 77.4 points per game at home. Usually you see that flip-flop between home versus road. But in this case, Niagara loves to travel. And all you got to look at Niagara. Niagara's way due for a bounce back, right? Lost 3 straight games, so they're well overdue for an absolute blowout. And who better to blow out than a team that you have revenge for, and a terrible team at that. Niagara is a team that travels well. They're 8-1 straight up and ATS in their last 9 road games. That's why I love this Niagara play. Also, Siena 3-10 ATS in the last 13 home games, and they lost 10 straight at home. So this Siena team is just a falling knife. They're just wanting to get to the end of the season and knowing that they have to go into a conference tourney to boot. This team has no hope, and Niagara is in there to go dominate on the road where they play their best ball. Give me Niagara -7.5, 2-unit banger, baby. Woo! Oh, take a breath and a sip of the potion for the three-wheel motion. Let's go. Fired out of a cannon. Shocks Nation in the building says something good to be lucky than good. Yes, that's true. But hell, you still got the cover. That's all that matters. And you cashed your ticket. Respect to you. All right. Love that pick. My best bet, Niagara. Listen, I love that pick a lot. And it's not quite my best bet, but it's pretty damn close. Maybe my number 2. All right, let's go to the next play here. Let's go with the 1-unit play just to give you some samples before we get into the late stuff. But before we do, I have to say this. Like and subscribe to the GunzPicks YouTube channel and hit the thumbs up button, hit the bell. do all the things that we love you guys to do to keep us in the algorithm of all algorithms that YouTube has deemed us. Also, join all my social medias at GunzPicks on Instagram, Twitter, or X, TikTok. If you've already joined those, great. You don't need to do it. But if you haven't, please do so now. It's 131 of you beautiful bastards are watching me live. I need some love. So hit the like button at the very least. That's all you can do here on the GunzPicks channel. All right. 1 unit special. We're going to get away from the twos for a second, so bear with me. We're going to play some small ball. South Carolina State going against NC Central here at McLennan McDouglas Gym in Durham, North Carolina. No, that's not Duke. This is a different type of North Carolina. North Carolina Central is where we want to go. And so let's look at the numbers here with this team, because I like NC Central here, -6.5 as a 1 unit play. Really two bad teams altogether when you look at the numbers, but the home and road splits are really important to look at here. NC Central on the offensive side scores 78 points per game at home versus 68.3 points per game on the road. And with NC Central being at home, this is why I like this team today. NC Central's defense also allows 66 points per game at home versus 72.9 points per game on the road. So there is a big difference between how this team plays at home versus away. Also, South Carolina State, their splits, their offense scores 66.5 points per game on the road versus putting up 74.8 points per game at home. Defensively, they allow 77.5 points per game on the road versus 71 points per game at home. So this team regresses when they get on the road. Also, it's a revenge factor here for NC Central. They lost to South Carolina State 71-68 in the first matchup as 3.5-point favorites. Also, NC Central 6-1 ATS in the last 7 home games, 7-2 ATS as a favorite of 8 points or less. This is where the line is sitting now, in a perfect position to go take NC State where they play their best ball. So we're going to go NC Central on this one, -6.5, just as a 1 unit banger. Let's go. Connor joining us. Looks like you're a Duke guy. Your favorite team, basketball? Yes. Football, it's all Notre Dame. If you see right behind me, see the gold helmets. Also, I got Kyrie Williams autographed jersey in the back and some Red Sox stuff. Looks like I got Joe Montana back there, but that is just because he was a Notre Dame quarterback. That's why I got that stuff. And, of course, the Patriots. That's what I like. All Boston teams, and I got Duke, and I got ND for football. So, yes, I'm cheering for Duke basketball-wise here in March. All right. Next play. Now we're going to get in the late night bangers. Let's go. We don't need sleep tonight, boys. We need to be grinding some bets. And I might as well just give you 3 11 o'clock games. How about that? Does that sound good? A little Pac-12 after dark? Well, that's what I'm going to do. Let's start it off with Arizona State versus USC. Galen Center, Los Angeles, California. 11 p.m. is the tip. And we're going to go USC on this one. -9 at home. 2 unit banger. Let's talk about it. Well, statistically, USC is the better team. You got a ASU team that is 212th in offensive efficiency, 285th in field goal percentage, 353rd in offensive rebounding, 318th in the country in 3-point percentage, and they're terrible on the free throw line, 340th in the country in free throw percentage. Going against the defense for USC, 92nd in defensive efficiency, 162nd in defending shots. 74th in creating turnovers, 323rd in defensive rebounding, but they're good at blocking shots, ranked 18th in the country in blocks. Offensively there for USC, 104th in offensive efficiency, but they're going against a good defense for ASU that is 45th or 46th in defensive efficiency, 58th in creating turnovers. So really both defenses are pretty exceptional with one another against some you have a bad offense there for Arizona State. You have a decent offense there for USC, but you're going to get some better defense there for ASU. But home to road splits are always important to me. You play better at home. You play better on the road. I need to know those statistics. With ASU, their offense scores 73 points per game at home versus 66.9 points per game on the road. So on that one, you have the situation that there's a regression there on the offensive side for ASU. On the defensive side, even bigger regression. They allow 69.2 points per game at home However, on the road, 78.6 points per game on the road. This is the 46th ranked defensive efficient defense in the country. And those numbers at 78.6 points per game makes them like a 200 or 250 ranked defensive efficient defense. So this team regresses significantly when they get on the road. They give up a ton of points. That's why with USC, I think they're gonna score points on this one, and it doesn't matter because ASU's offense is so stagnant. They're not going to be able to keep up with the Trojans. Also, look at USC on this one, 71.9 points per game on the road. However, 77.5 points per game at home. They also allow 72.2 points per game at home versus 76.9 on the road. So really not that much separation there from home versus road splits. I think the advantage here is with USC. Also, revenge factor. We love revenge factors, especially in game 2. USC lost to ASU on the road, 82-67, demolished, really, and embarrassed. They were 4.5-point road dogs in that situation, so they weren't expected to win anyways. Now they're 9.5-point favorites. Huge line correlation there. We're talking about 13-point line swing from game A to game B. That tells you something there. I think this is a USC play all day long. Give me USC -9 2-unit banger, baby. As we get to chat, EQ in the building. Give him the horn. Bada bing, bada boom. Connor says, with you on ND football wise, LSU my favorite. They always been since young. Well, you get to have my old coach. I don't like Brian Kelly, so my apologies when you fire him later on in his career. Just kidding. He'll leave you. He'll break your heart. He's going to break your heart. He's going to get you a 10-win season, but he's not going to get you to the promised land. He's not Nick Saban. Okay? Just letting you know. Or he's not Coach O. That 1 year he had Joe Burrow. He wasn't a great coach. He just had a great team. Oh, woo! Fired up today on this beautiful Thursday night. 2 more plays to give you on this Thursday night. Let's get into some more late night action here. Utah going on the road versus Oregon State. The Beavers here as sitting at the Dog Gill Coliseum, Corvallis, Oregon. And this ain't football. This is hoops. And I'm still going to take him as a dog. Give me Oregon State on this one, plus 7.5, 2-unit play. Let's get into it. Statistically, Utah has the advantage. They're 46 in offensive efficiency, 53rd in defensive efficiency, and they're going against an Oregon State team that offensively they're 170th, 77th in offensive efficiency, 151st in defensive efficiency. And you're asking yourself, why are you taking this team? Well, there's a reason, because Utah stinks on the road. Numbers for this team on the offensive side, they score 84.4 points per game at home. Great offense. However, on the road, 71.3 points per game. Very different team when they get outside their arena in Provo. Is it Provo? No, I don't got that wrong. Is that BYU? Anyways, it's in Utah. Utah's defense on that one, 67.5 points per game allowed on their home court. However, 79.2 points per game on the road. This team just regresses significantly once they have to travel to California, Washington, and other Pac-12 locations across the nation, Arizona. Then you got this, then you look at the correlation with Oregon State. They're kind of a similar team. Great at home, bad on the road. And guess where they're playing? At home. 11-5 straight up, losing their last 3, but they're 6-1 ATS in the last 7 home games. They score 63.6 points per game on the road, but 72.6 points per game at home. They allow 78.5 points per game on the road. However, 69 points per game at home. So this team is very similar in identity than the Utah Utes. And you get them as a plus 7.5-point dog. Also, you got to look at them. 2-7 straight up in ATS on the road this season, the Utah Utes are. And then last time these two teams play, Oregon State got embarrassed at Utah, got crushed, 74-47 in that game. You actually flip those numbers around, all 4. It's the same score. Little hint there. 15-point road dogs in that situation. Now the line is down to 7.5. I got to take him here. The numbers don't lie. Give me Oregon State plus 7.5 as my doggy of the day. Let's Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pac-12 After Dark is my favorite. I love just putting these bets in, watching a little bit until my eyes get a little bit heavy, go to bed, and wake up with money. That is Pac-12 After Dark in a nutshell. All right, as we get into some of these other plays, actually one more play for you to end the night, and then we're going to cash some damn tickets here on a Thursday, and I'll be back tomorrow, 6 o'clock, for the Breakin Echo Show Friday night edition, and then we go right into the weekend. It's going to be an absolute electric time. And then conference tourneys start officially for the big boys next week. Chat getting wild here. Let's talk to him. Peter, Guns, I need to know about Oregon if you can later. Thanks. No opinion on that one. I did take a little bit of a snippet of that one. I know they're like a 3.5-point favorite there at home. I couldn't get there on paper, and I'm just ignoring that game altogether. I hate that court so much. It looks like a shadow of a forest, but it doesn't look well on the camera when you watch it on ESPN. And for me to bet that, I have to watch it. And I just don't want to. I don't want to sweat an Oregon bet tonight. No thanks. I pass. Brian is a jag. Period. There you go. Oh yeah, there you go. I got you. All right. I didn't understand where you're going. Yeah, Brian Kelly is a jerk. Yeah, go Irish. He is. We defended him way too long, or we just kept silent about him. But he did do some things out there. Allegedly, I will say allegedly. Not good, not a good person. That's why all his players didn't go to LSU, and neither did any of his coaching staff. So that should tell you something about Brian Kelly. Okay. He had to go. He got maybe the trainer left with him, and everybody else is like, nah, we're going to stay here with Freeman. We like Freeman better than Kelly. Not a good person. All right. I'm going to Ryder game tonight. What's the bet? Lean Ryder on that one. I'm not touching it. I'm not officially putting any dollars on it. But you want one thing I'm going to say on that one? I like Ryder. Easy Ryder. Ryder's made me so much cash this year. I will every time it's like what bet? Who are they going against? Unless they're going against Marist. That's a little bit scary on that one. But however, I like Ryder. Peter. Okay, it looks yeah, it looks like a barf court. Someone told me that too, that they had the same opinion on that one. I can't remember who was telling me that, but yeah, it does look like someone who vomited on the court. They just didn't mop it up. All right, let's go into the next game. One more for you guys to enjoy, but it was 207. I think it's 207. I don't know if the Twitter fixed their views of you guys watching us live here now. Hit the like button, subscribe, and do all the stuff that they want us to do on YouTube at the GunzPicks channel. Appreciate it. Let's go into the last play here. California versus Stanford, Maples Pavilion. Stanford, California, 11 p.m. tip. And I'm going to be going with Cali. As I'm wearing the hat, there's a reason why. Buy hats engaged. Give me Cali +4 versus Stanford Cardinals. Cali's offense, 103rd in deep offensive efficiency, 235th in field goal percentage, 136th in free throw percentage, 192nd in offensive rebounding. On the other side of the ball for the defense, for Stanford, 144th in defensive efficiency, 280th in defending shots, 300th in creating turnovers, and 95th in defensive rebounds. Pretty identical. A little bit of an edge there for Cali on the offensive side of the ball. However, on Stanford's side, 95th in offensive efficiency, 31st in field goal percentage, but they are sloppy with the basketball, 32nd in the country in turnover percentage, 344th in offensive rebounding, 79th on the free throw line. But on the defensive side there, you're not going to get much of a defense from Cali. They're 134th in defensive efficiency, 223rd in defending shots, but they can rebound the ball exceptionally well for a Pac-12 team, I should say. 63rd in defensive rebounds, but they don't create a lot of turnovers themselves, 320th in that regard. The reason why I'm taking this play specifically is just when Cal's a dog, they're exceptional. 11-5 ATS as a dog, 9-2 ATS when they are a dog of 7 points or less. So in these situations, they just tend to excel when nobody thinks they're going to win. When they're a favorite, they're terrible. Every time this team is favored, they lose. However, when they get in the dog position, no pun intended, they get the job done. Stanford on the other side, when they're a favorite, they don't get the job done either. They're 1-8 straight up, 3-6 ATS in the last 9 games overall. So they're already on a cold streak. And they're 1-5 ATS in the last 6 games. But as a favorite of 10 points or less, 2-7 ATS, 3-6 straight up in those situations. So if there's anything you could take from this, is not only should we be taking Cal, we should just sprinkle a little bit on the money line that Cal gets it done. Because if Stanford's going to win this game, typically they do cover. But if we're going to be on the Cal side, they typically lose the game outright. And with a short line like this, we might as well just sprinkle a little bit on the money line to get it done here. So, but for this pick purposes, we're being smart. We're the books are giving us points. We're going to take the points. Give me Cal +4, 2-unit banger. Smack it. As we get in there, it was Cab said. That's right. Yes, he said it on the live stream on Pub Sports. My brain doesn't work. I can't remember on half the stuff that I'm on anymore because I'm working like a dog lately on these picks. All right, Michael says, "What up?" There he is. Looking for him. Give him a gun. Bang! Gave me a shot across the bow. I know that guy's going to be betting some games today, and he has some looks. Yeah, Cal, so true on both. Yep. Cal, got to be taken. I think we should sprinkle a little bit on the money line, but, I'm being smart. Responsibly, I'm going to take him at +4 as a 2-unit play. All right. Those are the plays that pay the bills. And to recap for you, just to remember, like and subscribe to the channel. You know why? Because everybody that's been watching this show has been cashing tickets. We're up over 20 units, 20.3 units to be exact, since the inception of the GunzPicks channel, since the inception of the Breakin Ankles show on the GunzPicks channel. We've been cashing tickets. Like and subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like button, do all that stuff that keeps me in the algorithm of all algorithms. And of course, join all my social media platforms at GunzPicks. If you don't know the spelling, it's right there on all my social media platforms. So search, follow, like, let's go. All right, to recap, we're going to go Colgate -19, 2-unit special. Youngstown State -9.5, 2-unit banger. We're going to go Niagara -7.5, 2-unit special. We're going to go NC Central -6.5, 1-unit play. USC -9, 2-unit play. And a couple doggies for you. We're going to go Oregon State +7.5, 2-unit play. And we're going to go Cali +4, 2-unit special. A lot of late games, but we're going to cash some tickets at the 7. Then we're going to take we call it a little break, go have some dinner, and then we're going to go sweat out the other games. So that's going to do it here for this edition of the Breakin Ankles show. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the ball. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang.